It's ketchup packets.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
And this is Ketchup Packets. Today we are watching the final episode of Season 2 of Andor called Jedha, Kyber, and Erso.
There's no and, you said it wrong.
Oh, well.
Jedha, Kyber, Erso.
Okay.
How can you mess up the name of the finale?
I don't know, it's a list. It has commas.
Yeah, right.
And there's no and. And
No,
I assume
yeah.
that's the end of the list because
Right.
there's nothing following it. So
Yeah, but
I put the and in there, but you're right.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not in there.
So
This
it's a
is
title.
important.
You're supposed to read it as it's written.
That's true.
So I'm thinking that it's listed that way because it's like a mnemonic he's using. It's like the chant to himself to remember the points he has to relay.
Yes, that's a good point.
Traveling, you know,
You wouldn't
especially
put the
when
and
going
in
through
there.
all the stuff. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wasted
Jedha,
information.
Kyber, Erso. You know, you're
Yes.
repeating those three words to yourself about which stuff to tell
That's
them.
pretty good. That's pretty good. Yes.
Because Jedha is the location that they're getting the Kyber from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have some sort of similar pretense to what they were doing in Gorman about fighting rebels there.
Right.
But it's actually about the Kyber, which is the last thing Kyber crystals are what powers lightsabers, right? So they need a bunch of those to make the Death Star laser super planet smasher.
Yep.
Is the Death Star laser just a giant lightsaber? And you turn it on at the planet, pretty much
Yeah,
is
it
what
seems
happens?
like. Yeah, I mean, it seems like the same energy could be,
I guess.
like, utilized
Well,
for that. You know.
But it's like a bunch of beams that focus in the middle too, and then that goes.
It's
Because
it's a fantasy weapon.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, I'm just remembering the scene in Rogue One where like it's fired at the planet, but they don't use all of like the full power of it, so it just causes like destruction of that city instead of detating the
Right,
planet.
yeah.
You know, so they can vary its power. So yeah, I guess it's more complicated, obviously, than
Yeah.
just a gigantic lightsaber. What happened last time? I guess
Oh man, we're getting right up to the end here.
We're right in the middle of
obviously,
it.
But yeah, exactly. So let's see. Cassian has all the information that he needs to relay to the rebels in order to get them to point them in the right direction to what exactly they need to do.
And
here.
him and Melshi and Clea are in the safe house.
That's right.
And stormtroopers and
coming.
Mr. Imperial, what's his name, are on the way.
Yep.
Cyril 2.0.
That's right.
That guy's got a name. He's been around, but he's been so, like... He's
Yeah.
the other guy besides Lonnie is how I think of him. You
Right,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't, I'm sure that we should know his name by now.
Whatever. There's a lot of names in this, and they're all not normal. They're
Right,
not
and
like
that guy has
Jim
been so unimportant
Thomas,
that I
yeah.
haven't bothered to learn it.
Exactly.
You know? So, but he's here now, and I don't think so. Clea will probably die in this exchange.
Yep.
That guy
I think
probably
we've-
will too.
Yep.
Right?
We've
Yeah.
we've come to that, but it'd be cool if Clea somehow got away, but then to not see her again throughout the
Well-
rest of this arc of story would be strange. 'cause-
Unless coming 2026, the TV show about what Clea is up
Yeah.
to during the events of the trilogy. You know,
guess.
I'd be fine with that show.
Sure,
'cause
yeah, actually, me
she's
too.
fantastic, and I want her to do more. What else? Anything else? I mean, that was
that's it. I mean,
it was all contained
Yep.
there last time, and I guess we have Dedra in trouble, but trying to find a way to help the Imperials so they'll let her out of trouble. I don't
Right.
know if that will work.
no.
So,
I
I mean,
mean-
there's only one episode, so where's she gonna wind up now? I'm curious how the story ends for her.
I had speculated earlier that she was going to end up continuing to sort of climb, but
yeah.
she's fallen spectacularly. So I think they've left us in a spot where it could kind of go either way.
There's no time for a turn, though. Like, she can't decide to become a rebel, or she could decide that and then immediately be killed. You
Or
know?
not become a rebel, but maybe maybe her information ends up being good, and they realize that she's been hyper loyal this whole time, and she does end up stationed on the Death Star versus just in the brig forever.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Krennic doesn't like her, and we
No.
know that he doesn't lose power in this episode because
That's
he's
true.
still doing this project in Rogue One. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it's not a good end for her.
No,
There's only
probably
one way
not.
to find out, though.
Yeah, there certainly is, and we're gonna do it right now. We have a Patreon. Check it out in the link below. We got full-length reactions over there. We got movie polls. You can help us decide what to watch, so you can support us over there, and we really appreciate it. Let's watch Andor.
Yavin. After all of this. What a bitter ending.
Nothing's ending. Could be just a holding pattern for a little while. You want to
yeah.
stay here?
Keeping Luthen alive.
Big words.
Yeah, she feels like she's at the end of the whole tale, you know?
Yeah.
And he's got to remind her it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see the place you helped build.
Yeah.
You need to tell them what you told us. I'm not leaving you here.
It's the thing about, like, real revolutionaries. Like, once the revolution is over and they won, do they even really get to enjoy it? You know, like after
don't know.
decades of...
Yeah, that was Luthen's whole speech in season 1
Yeah.
was about that.
Anyone else?
Bringing it about is for the other
people.
people. It's not for the fighters themselves.
Right. Oh,
Oh,
he's dead.
yeah, K2SO's doing his work. This guy's so dead.
Yeah.
Being all... This is not... He's not a field agent, you know? He sits
No,
at that
no.
at that circle desk.
He's kind of a little twerp.
Yeah, exactly. I think the term for a guy like that is a pissant.
Right. A little pissant. I felt that way about Cyril at the beginning of the beginning of the show, and then he kind of came around, you know.
Oh, yeah, they're just right... Oh. Melshi.
Slowly raise your hands!
They were just literally right outside the door. Like, oh my god, they didn't... Hey, why didn't you guys shoot him?
They're not very smart. They're not good at it.
This is ISB! This is a worm, sir!
You just kind of like...
They think that being in the armor with the guns makes them, like, makes people
I need
not
to see open hands!
defy them.
I need
So
to
when
see them now!
people don't do what they
don't know
say,
what to
they're
do, yeah.
confused, yeah.
Stop right there! Sergeant!
Oh god, stop right there, he says.
Well, they think that it works for them, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess they want to capture these people alive, right? Because they
Yep,
think they're
they have to, yeah.
high-ranking rebels.
They are.
Yeah.
That's always scary with the... yeah.
Detonator.
Dude, yes, let's kill the Imperials before we start trying to rescue.
He's dazed.
What's this tactical unit we have in here?
Everyone's out running down the emergency disease warrant.
Flooded! Get anything you...
Ha! Partagaz, I
whoops.
want to see him scramble too. He hasn't lost his cool once the whole series, has he?
I don't think so.
Oh, yes! Oh, a violent death for that guy. I like it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh, that's so violent.
Awesome. Yeah, hell yeah.
This show is so much more brutal than other Star Wars.
Ah!
Yeah, that guy had a name in the subtitles the whole time, and nobody ever said his name. It's somebody.
Cassian, I've cleared a path.
I am so glad that I took that robot.
Yeah. It's all tied together.
You're right.
Every little piece you do to help the rebellion can cascade to get the big thing done.
Yeah, this is like how you tell a good Star Wars story, in my opinion.
No kidding.
Yeah.
The rebellion is bigger than all of us. And yet, when you feel inconvenienced, all I hear is how small...
Now she looks more like her, the way we remember her from the movies.
How many more meddling squealers have you set my way?
I'm trying to help you. You've already got an Imperial destroyer on site. Keep hijacking these transports and...
I really like seeing her in this setting. This
Yeah.
is great to finally just get Mon Mothma straight
Your
up.
finally.
spies and infiltrators.
It's the Empire that's after you, Saw, not us.
Yeah, remember,
Only
common
we
enemy
fight.
here. Let's
Well,
quit
it's
fighting.
not.
Ugh,
Yeah, Saw doesn't do well with chain of command, I don't think.
no.
Sir, the missing U-Wing. There's a situation.
Have they found it? Well, speak up.
Well, they came back, so.
It's coming in hot, unauthorized, and requesting landing coordinates.
I'll be right there.
Is this Andor?
I believe so.
With a stolen ship? On an unsupervised mission?
You can make that case.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of credit with Mon Mothma, probably.
Yeah.
She's like, Cassian can do what he wants.
Right.
You should have filed a flight plan. Now
She's okay.
Why aren't they answering?
She's not dead.
Anybody?
No,
This was
she made it to Yavin.
This is where she was supposed to die.
No, yeah, you've got escorts, because you're not supposed to be here.
Failure to comply with our specific commands will trigger immediate destruction.
I planned to tell him I was kidnapped.
He's quipping. Turn down his quip setting.
Yeah.
Want to let these X-Wings be wedging bigs? No?
She's injured.
Who else is with you?
We have a KX droid, so don't try to fight us.
She needs a doctor, please. Take her to the sick bay.
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on.
Weapons down.
You know that we work
Yes,
for you.
Exactly. What are you doing?
I have important news.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, you fucking better bet.
This is gonna...
Yeah, this is gonna
If
blow
I
you up.
hadn't gone on this mission, we would not be pointed in the right direction.
Right.
Apparently, you've been chasing something you feel is worth violating every rule we live by.
You bet. Just wait till you hear it.
Luthen Rail had a source in the ISB. He just learned that the Emperor's secret energy project was the cover story for the manufacture of a weapon.
Straight to the point. I like it that he's
come on.
saying this as succinctly as possible.
Luthen was told that there's a connection between the Gorman destruction, the Kyber mining on Jedha, and an Imperial engineer named Galen Erso.
That's all the info right there.
Exactly.
In a big
He did say
energy program basket.
I'm just reporting.
The title of the episode didn't.
It's hard not to wonder if your judgment here might be less than objective.
I'll have to disagree. It's everything I know about...
Let's run down this lead I just gave you, you know?
Someone who's been a thorn in our side since we began building this alliance.
Did you know him?
Yeah, I'm sorry, who are you?
I don't know if what he was told is true or not. But it's insulting to hear him run down by people who have given a fraction of his sacrifice to this rebellion.
Yeah. Enough.
I'm afraid it's just as easy to believe that Luthen was the one being played.
Or worse.
The web of doubts that he created. It makes everything unbelievable.
So we do nothing?
I see the point that he's trying to make there.
Yeah.
This is active intelligence.
Just check on it, though.
As of now, Captain Andor, you are forbidden from accessing your ship.
Yeah, you still gotta be in trouble for breaking the rules.
Not exactly the hero's welcome I promised, was it?
Yeah, well, everybody's still mad, but in a little bit.
I thought we were having breakfast.
They live together now?
Luthen's dead. Cassian brought Claire back. but
Like
when did
complicated
this happen?
feelings for Vel?
They brought back some curious information. Help me believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you're such a powerful decision maker, you need to have
Yeah.
very solid, like, evidence you can point to for any major decision you make, you know? You can't just go with what feels like
Yeah.
it's believable.
It's like, I don't even necessarily fully trust what he's telling me, but if you will tell it to me, maybe I'll be able to believe it.
Or maybe she could be like, I do believe it, let me, give me a reason to, you know?
He made it worth it.
What happened to confined to your quarters?
Well, they're making their way back there, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't go to other areas of the base and you're fine.
Will you drink to Luthen?
Just this once.
Yeah, you gotta, I mean, he was a complicated guy, definitely,
Yeah.
and there were many downsides, but you gotta acknowledge the good. Especially now that he's gone.
Yep.
Gorn. Nemec. Taramin.
Cinta.
The Gormans. Ferrex. Your mother.
Wow.
Dans.
Aldani.
Lots of fallen to drink to.
Yep.
They don't even know about Lonnie.
Mon wants to know if your Luthen story is real.
So she doesn't even care what the details are.
Right.
He died for it. Does it matter what he did to us along the way? None of this exists without him. None of us are here.
But that doesn't give credibility to his story by itself.
No.
It's not like he definitely wasn't lying. We don't think that.
Tell me what she said.
She's awake, right? Just go talk to her.
She doesn't seem like she's in the talking mood.
No. She doesn't like this place.
No.
There will be times when the struggle seems impossible. I know this will...
I'm really glad that we're getting Nemec's voiceover of his journal one more time.
Freedom is a pure idea. It occurs spontaneously and without instruction. Random acts of insurrection are occurring constantly throughout the galaxy.
I can't ever fully be stamped out.
No.
It keeps just occurring spontaneously. Doesn't need to be propagated.
And then remember this. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. Tyranny requires...
This is such an eloquently written manifesto.
Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear.
Wow, he was really...
he was listening to it?
Who do you think it is?
This party guy's gonna snap?
May I have a moment to collect my thoughts?
So he knows that, like, he's about to get in really big trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, can I delay it for...
just a couple minutes.
Is he gonna do a Warden at Shawshank? You haven't seen Shawshank Redemption? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. So he knew that's what he was gonna do. He's just not surprised at all. Maybe that's what the outcome they wanted.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he failed pretty entirely.
Yep. It's better than having the Emperor do it.
You should reconnect with Bix.
I don't know where she is.
She's safe, isn't she?
That's what I hear.
She wouldn't be safe with me.
Yeah, but... I mean, I guess, and he's taking the time to heal and process that, like, you know, she's better off not here.
Once this settles down, maybe.
I don't think this is going to settle down.
No. Not for a long while.
Don't wait too long.
It is kind of like now or never.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, like...
Well, we know he stays involved in all this up until his death, so... Leia, where are you going?
Yeah, for real.
It's Val.
She's just completely destroyed emotionally.
Goodbye.
So wayward with... I mean, Luthen saved her from who knows what kind of a life of just hiding and stuff,
Yeah.
so...
Come on, you can't stay out here.
She's never known anything without him.
She's done like the last... I mean, kind of like I was saying, it's like the fact that she got out of that situation, she's like, well, what the hell do I do now?
I wasn't
like,
supposed to still be here. Yeah.
You always used to say, know your way out before you go in. I don't even really know where I am.
I have friends everywhere.
Yeah, come on, remember that code phrase. It means that...
we have friends
Yeah, you
everywhere.
can turn to people. Luthen isn't the only person you could count on.
It is totally weird. This is like what happens to a character after their arc is over and they're still alive.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why am I here? What's my role now? You know, like
Yeah,
nobody
but she's
even...
such an effective rebel. The rebellion is ongoing, you know?
There's an Imperial destroyer parked over Jedha as of 2 days ago. Warned him to step away before you came back.
Yeah, it's because of the Kyber.
If this is all a trap, it's a brilliant way to spring it.
It's not a trap. It's real.
How do I get to Kafrene?
It's a trap.
No, that's later.
General Draven has your orders. Proceed to your contact, learn what you can. Do it quickly.
Can I ask what changed?
If I die fighting the Empire, I want to go down swinging.
Yeah, rather than just like sitting on our hands waiting for them to jump us.
You and Luthen would have gotten along much better than you think.
I think Bail is like, yeah, I would have liked that. He wouldn't let me collaborate with him.
Right.
He didn't trust anybody. He said, may the Force be with you. Oh no, is this a slow motion montage of status quo building because we're rolling into the movie?
Yeah, seems like it's just like, yeah. This is the
life
last
they're living.
beat, yeah.
But he's got to go to. But is he on Jedha in the movie Finding Saw? Is that where he starts?
I don't.
He got that assignment.
We watched that a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
More than a year ago. It was during
yeah.
The Last of Us season 1, so it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Is that
She's at
prison?
Narkina?
Yeah. Oh
no.
my
God! Ha ha! Well,
I
sucks to suck,
be
Dedra.
more wrong about where she ends up.
No. Oh, there's that lady again.
Dude, I'm saying, just seeing an Imperial Star Destroyer, just be like, we're all screwed, man.
Krennic standing there. Oh, that would be pretty cool. You'd stand there looking at it as much as you could if it was your project.
It would just be like, that's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a challenge when you have to like join your media up to another piece of media.
Yeah.
You know? But I think this was pretty eloquently done. It works as an ending.
Well, and I mean, Rogue One did an incredible job too.
Right,
it was like
right.
right up until the very second, basically.
Yeah. Oh, hey!
What?
We do get to see what happened to Bee in the wheat field.
You could go again.
See, he's happy.
Yeah.
They wanted to show us that Bee is enjoying his life. Oh, that's where Bix went. Does she have a baby?
Oh my god.
That's Cassian's. That's why she left.
Apparently.
She knew if she told him about that he would never risk his life again. That makes so much sense! Oh, what good writing! And now we can get like a sequel series about young Andor.
Young Andor. Baby Andor.
Bix looks so healthy in
Yeah,
ways
she looks
that she
happy.
hasn't previously.
She's got a community. She's far away from all the chaos.
Yeah.
She's just raising her kid in like a place. Normal place. Normal people for a little while. Well.
Hooray! I approve.
I do too.
I'm
satisfied with that. I feel like we could just turn the movie on like right now and
instantly,
just be like, well, okay, onward.
So, yeah, so what I was saying a second ago about that it's tricky to join your media up with another piece of media is that you need to have it like flow continuously in a way that makes sense, where like he was going on that mission that we then see him on in the movie and stuff like that. But then you also need to set it up in a way where it can't just be like the end of this is the cliffhanger that leads to that next episode, which is the other piece of media.
Right.
You know, it needs to work as an ending to this TV show as well, you know? And so it works as like the fight against the Empire goes on. I mean, they had Nemec's manifesto there about how it's the scale of them is so immense, you know, you're not just gonna... Toppling it seems like it's a very tall order, so it makes sense for this TV show to have it just, you know, he rolls on as a fighting rebel.
Exactly. And it's like about him being the sort of... he spent the entire first season sort of like rejecting the idea.
Rejecting the cause.
Rejecting the cause. And then by like this really rounded out how like completely committed he is to it. You know?
Season 2 was all about, you know, breaking down every reason he could ever think of to not participate, you know, and taking those all away until he was just like the only thing that makes sense is to continue fighting this fight.
Right. And
so,
like, that's why I also think it was smart to, except for pretty much that one episode, it was, the show was called Andor. It was about Cassian Andor becoming like the rebel that he needs to be in order to do the events of
Right,
Rogue One,
right, yeah.
basically.
I mean, I think
So-
if you're gonna name a list of people responsible for destroying the Death Star, you have like Luke Skywalker, Jyn Erso, Cassian Andor. He's
Yep.
probably like third in terms of the instrumentalness in getting in. And he might even be above Jyn. I mean, she is the main character of Rogue One, so obviously has the biggest role in getting all that specific piece done.
Yeah.
But in terms of how much he was involved in all the lead up to it, Cassian might even be above Jyn in terms of how instrumental he is.
I agree.
But we didn't see Galen Erso. We just heard him mentioned, as the designer guy. And
Don't need to see him.
Yeah, it's true.
His role is clarified.
And Mads Mikkelsen is busy and expensive.
Yes, exactly.
So,
yeah, totally.
We didn't see Emperor Palpatine, but Partagaz just took care of it himself.
Totally. I think it was fun to finally see, okay, we didn't see the Emperor. There was no, there was almost no, none of the Star Wars, magic stuff. None of the,
exactly. None of the
force,
space wizards.
No force, no lightsabers, none of that.
Just a war.
But we did see the Death Star.
Yeah.
The very, very end, which is as a reminder to the viewer that, this is what it is.
That and the X-Wings. That's the other,
That's true.
very iconic image that they were showing in there,
Well,
with the X-Wing escorts and stuff.
We also had, stormtroopers
Sure,
and stuff
sure.
in
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true. It's true.
But just in terms of, reminding us, because, they're talking about this super weapon and the Death Star the whole time, but they didn't even show us, an image of it during this entire series. We don't even
I guess that's
know
true.
the Death Star comes up in Rogue One,
No,
but,
well, in the after credits scene in season 1. Oh, which reminds me, maybe there was an after credits scene in this that we didn't watch. I don't know. We turn it off when the credits start. That's not, I don't make the rules. Yes, but in the after credits scene in season 1, they showed us that the things they were building in Narkina over and over were pieces of the Death Star, and they showed little robots moving that into place.
Oh,
so
that's
we saw
true,
it
I guess.
in that image as well as a little Easter egg, I guess. But yeah, your point is taken.
Yeah.
It wasn't featured in the series.
It's kind of oh yeah, this is really...
That thing is gigantic.
Yeah, and it's gigantic and it's terrifying, and then we get to see its full power. It's funny because we get to see it in its glory, not completed here, and then we see it in its partial power in Rogue One, and then we see it in its full
power in A New Hope. And it's interesting too that Bail Organa is the one who's most reluctant to take in this intelligence and act on it swiftly, and he is, if you'll remember, the senator from Alderaan.
Oh God, that's right.
So he will end up eating his words severely when his entire planet is destroyed by this weapon that he doesn't. Not sure he wants to run down quickly. And we also predicted that Clea would definitely die, and she didn't. So that was great.
Yeah, that
she's a rebel.
Kind of blows my mind because she still seemed a little rudderless at the end, and I expected her energy to be more pointed in a direction so that we can sort of not see the rest of where she's going, but still have an idea about what she's doing.
Seems like fodder for a great
I
television
guess you're
series.
totally
If you
right.
ask me, you start with someone who's totally listless.
Yeah.
The New Adventures of Clea and Vel coming to Disney Plus. I'm on board.
God, as long as it's got this quality, man, because
same showrunners. That's what we need.
Yeah, this was really friggin' good.
Yeah,
as far
high
as Star
quality
Wars media goes.
Yeah, I mean, it had that reputation before we ever dove into it as being the standout Star Wars TV show and the standout just piece of Disney Star Wars media at all, and I think it earned that. I mean, I haven't seen too much of the other Disney Star Wars stuff, but just the high quality of this all by itself has convinced me that I'm sure is true, because if they were all this good, we would hear about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
These Star Wars shows are banger after banger, but they're definitely controversially received, apart from this one, which most people agree is very well executed. So
and I think that if I was going to guess, because I haven't really seen, what are some other ones that I'm thinking of?
Well, so the new movies are The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. That's the new trilogy. And then there's Rogue One and Solo: A Star Wars Story as the spin-off movies that are movies besides the trilogy. And then TV shows, we have Andor, we've got The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
Yes. We've got Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
We've got Ahsoka. We've got Skeleton Crew. We've got The Bad Batch. We've got, what what is the one called that takes place like 1,000 years ago? The Acolyte. It's about like really early Jedis.
Okay, that could be interesting.
It's very controversial and apparently not well received.
Really?
I think that's 7. I think there might be more, but there's a lot of Star Wars. Oh, the Book of Boba Fett. That's another show.
I mean, guys, that's a lot. It's very saturated.
Yeah, as the way Red Letter Media puts it is they turned Star Wars into NCIS, and I think that's like an interesting way to, it's just like put the brand on front of a million different iterations.
Yeah, that's there's a tone. There's a tone that Star Wars needs to have. There's an aesthetic that it needs to have, and I don't think that it can be captured by just anybody.
Right. Well,
I think this did a great job of, like we've said 1,000 times while we've been watching this, like that original Star Wars aesthetic is preserved so well.
Well, and so those 8 that I just named are Disney Plus Star Wars series, and then there's also the Cartoon Network shows of Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, which I think are separate series,
but those,
on their own, and those have a good reputation.
Yeah, have a good reputation. I was gonna say.
Yeah,
and they're also like not one of 17 at the time.
I'm not sure if that's comprehensive on how many of those there are either. There might be more, but there's not as many. I couldn't name 8 of them. Like I just could with the Disney Plus shows. So I don't know. This was good, and Star Wars is definitely not like bad in its nature by default, but I think that the saturation approach they've taken to it has diminished the overall quality, and I want them to focus on good storytelling like this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
big thumbs up for Andor.
2 thumbs up.
And we'll see what they do next.
Yeah.
But,
in the meantime, I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
And this is Ketchup Packets.
May the Force be with you always.
It's Ketchup Packets.